You don't have any sultry red satin gowns.
This jewel tone is the best I could do. I chose this shirt on purpose.
Just start singing lounge songs. Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm Watching This Show, your twice-weekly pop culture podcast where we talk about movies, TV, music, and more. And as always, this is a spoiler show. We might ease into spoilers with this one, but you've been warned if you're one of those people. We talk about the thing here.
Yeah.
So.
The lady who played the wife was also the wife in Roma. The whole time I was watching it, I was like, well, you didn't watch Roma, but the whole time I was watching it, I was like, she is so familiar. And I did not look it up. And then I just did. And I was like, that's her.
Well, the whole time I was like, this is has a real Westworld vibe. And then I was like, oh, it's the creator or co-creator of Westworld, Lisa Joy.
And she is married to Christopher Nolan's brother. Just saying. If you felt the Inception vibes in this movie.
This had a musical identity.
Yeah.
I was, okay. The movie we're talking about is Reminiscence.
That machine of yours, how close can you get before the illusion's broken?
You're going on a journey. All you have to do is follow my voice.
Let's just cut to the chase. This was a fine movie. By no stretch can I really call it like a good movie, but it wasn't a bad movie.
I thought it was good.
Did you like it?
I did like it.
Okay.
I liked it because it was... Okay, I'm going to say something that's going to sound weird because I just compared it to Inception, but I thought this was a really unique movie. Visually, it was very unique and different. I haven't seen that before. It was, again... It's got Inception vibes, but it's not doing the same brain thing as Inception.
So
we're not like levels deep in someone's brain.
I was very intrigued by the setting and I was really pulled in. And for the first 20 minutes, I was super into it. And then the story started and I was kind of like, oh. So I really was into the location, the global warming, the flooded city. I loved a lot of the world building, the little details about how Miami had gone nocturnal.
Yeah.
I really found it very interesting the way that things were swapped. Like there are, with Miami being nocturnal, you know, the sex scenes and stuff were happening in the daylight.
Yeah.
And so the way that they were using the sunlight, the curtains were closed, like blinds were shut, but you could see it like peeking through the fans and the blinds and stuff. And I found it to be very interesting and very effective. And this is something that we say a lot. And I guess that's because, you know, the name of our show is So I'm Watching This Show. You know, we tend to focus on episodic television and all that is. I wish it was a TV show. I wish all of this work we had done establishing this fascinating future was going
to keep
somewhere
happening.
More than what we ended up getting, which was a fairly standard noir. Like
noir, like murder mystery, kind of like a missing dame and everything. I definitely agree with that. I wish too that like the work we had put in with this and like, what was it called? Like the flooded city or like something, the like coastline, the flooded coast or something. Oh my God, it was like so cool. And like all the neon lights, then all the like lights on the side of buildings that went into the water still. I mean, it was so cool.
It really, I was super into that part. And about halfway, 2/3 way of the movie, there was a point where, and I don't remember what was happening, but Hugh Jackman was doing something very fine, very standard, very competent. And I was like, this is the kind of movie that's a little bit damned by its competency. Okay,
because I was actually feeling almost the opposite, which is that I didn't think he was phoning it in. And I didn't think
he was phoning it in.
Oh, okay.
I think if anything, I could have used it to be more heightened or campier or like.
Oh, but he
was playing it very serious. Straight.
I see.
Very.
Because that's one of my, I even tweeted it. That's one of my favorite things about him is that he's just game.
Sure.
He'll just do it. And I think that's like even things of his that are like a little more middling. He's just there for it.
But I think ultimately the story ended up being fairly, like, if you were to compile a list of like noir plots, I mean, this would tap out at like a 3. It was very standard, sort of what you would expect.
Sure.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
I think if I were younger, I would have been way more into it because I wouldn't have felt like I've seen it already.
That's fair.
The plot.
But again, I feel like if you're doing it, even if it's simple, if you do it right and you have a visual identity and like you said, it's like a musical identity and stuff, I think that elevates this movie beyond what it is story-wise.
Sure.
Yeah.
I still, well, yeah. I like I said, maybe it's personal, but it's like, I think that in particular from Hugh and Tandy, I think it could have been a little bit more heightened. I think that they were approaching it like it was very straightforward material.
Sure.
And I think it could have been sillier. I don't know that would have made it a better movie, but
yeah, I'm not sure. I also think that silly is not the vibe that Lisa Joy was going for, if we've learned one thing from Westworld. You know, so I think that's definitely part of it.
I feel like we're slightly at odds because again, I didn't hate it. But there was sort of a for what element for me because I was like, this you didn't need all this much to tell this story.
Right.
Like you didn't need this much money. You didn't need like, it's a very sort of like, it feels like a good first outing for like someone. And maybe the location, the special effects, the music, all of that was her attempt at giving it an identity. And I think it half worked. I was very interested in Rebecca Fergusson's role. Sure. I do like that they went with her. I like this 37-year-old showgirl who's sort of tied up.
I'm obsessed with her. I just
can't believe they didn't bring in like a 23-year-old.
Sure. like shockingly age appropriate. Both women in this movie, shockingly age appropriate. I don't.
In a way that I think kind of add, because she feels a little long in the tooth. Like she feels a little like, how much longer am I gonna.
Like kind of a washed up lounge singer for sure. I just also think she is like one of the most beautiful women in the world. And she has a face that like is begging to be painted. Like, is someone painting portraits of Rebecca Fergusson?
I find her utterly captivating. I cannot remember because I watched The White Queen, so I saw her in that, but that's not where she snagged me. I don't, because it was before Greatest Showman. I can't remember what specifically it was that or was it Greatest Showman?
I think it was Greatest Showman.
Okay,
that was what snagged her for me.
That.
Snagged me for her because she was in Florence Foster Jenkins and The Girl on the Train, and those were both before The Greatest Showman.
I saw those too, but I guess it was Showman that
she doesn't have like enough of a role in Florence Foster Jenkins. She's the one that Hugh Grant is like dallying with. But I didn't see Mission Impossible Rogue Nation when it came out. I saw it several years later, so it was definitely The Greatest Showman for me. Which
she got her revenge. That's not the word, but she got it in this one because she sings in this one.
And I get the reason why she can't. Why she didn't sing in The Greatest Showman, because what's her name? Jenny Lind. Jenny Lind is supposed to be like an opera singer. But she has a very nice voice.
Well, and it's very unique.
Yeah.
It definitely suited this in a way that it would not have suited.
Correct, yeah.
Although I think it was Jenny Nicholson, but somebody made a comment when Greatest Showman came out where they were like, the Swedish Nightingale, an alto. Sure. So they did bring in another singer and then gave her like a Kelly Clarkson power ballad. But
I mean, it's like after The Greatest Showman, it's like, I mean, honestly, I didn't see a lot of this stuff in between, but then like Dr. Sleep. I mean, that's the thing is
I guess, yeah.
She just keeps getting these roles that she can sink her teeth right into.
She's my Poison Ivy. Ooh. And a lot of people are like, she's too old to be Poison Ivy. And I was like, well, it depends. I mean, if it's Ben Affleck's Batman, he's 50. Like,
no, it would be fine. She's like 38, 37,
she's 37.
38.
No, we were dealing in very, very standard noir tropes. Danny, I was just talking about him.
Daniel Wu.
Yeah, Daniel Wu. He was a bit much for me. And I don't think it was him. I think it was the script. He was doing that thing where like every seventh word was in Mandarin. And it was really...
Well, I always see that every time somebody does something like that, I always see that Tumblr post where it's like, you can tell when non-bilingual people are writing the script versus when actual bilingual people are writing the script, because it's less like, well, and we talk about it with Riverdale all the time, because Hermione and Hiram are just like, Veronica, Mija, and they're like looking straight into the camera when they say it.
Come sit down, your chanclas is getting cold.
That's a flip-flop.
It makes as much sense as when...
Anyway, no, but it is that kind of thing where it's like, that's not how bilingual people speak to people who only speak English. Like, maybe he would speak that way to somebody else who spoke Mandarin, but it was a little, that part I was like, come on.
we got group hoppery there.
Yeah.
But, and I think ultimately that's the thing, is I either wanted to watch this sort of like noir film that didn't need to be 2 hours long, or I wanted to watch a YouTube video about what would happen if the earth flooded, about how they would make, and then you would have like the landlords would have their own little gated communities and stuff. And so the merger of them, like I said, it was fine. We got to the point where he brought up Orpheus and Eurydice. Very weirdly, he insisted on calling her Eurydice.
Yeah, I don't.
She's not Italian. It's Eurydice, and when he brought it up, I was like, oh,
yeah.
So we were mostly dealing with that. I think the movie thought it was a little bit deeper than it was.
Well, for sure, and I think that part of the problem in that instance is that like there were 3 villains in this movie, and that was way unnecessary.
When we got to Sebastian, I was like, huh?
Because he's Brett Cullen's son, and it's like
I followed the train, but it just like it felt like it was supposed to be this like revolution, like aha! But of course, the grandson did it.
Yeah,
and I was just sort of like, who? And then they had to flash back to remind us that yes, he had in fact been in the movie at several points.
Yeah, it was just sort of like, meh, I don't really get that. I thought that the wife, Tamara Sylvan, the one who I knew from Roma, she was a tragedy. That is the saddest thing I can imagine. Being trapped in your memory that way and not knowing what's real and what's not, thinking your son is your husband. Blech. Just wearing that same ugly dress for the rest of your life. Blech. But I did like that she was sort of the linchpin in figuring out like what the deal was, because she still had some of it there. I also, extremely rude to kill Angela Serafin that way.
When we saw her, I was like, ah!
Yeah.
Because I love Angela Serafin, and I've had her like the Clementine action figure in my Amazon cart for like over a year. And so like I went and actually got it. I don't have it now, but it'll be somewhere in here at some point.
Yeah.
I love her so much. And I think she was utilized so well in Westworld. And then it was nice to see her. She got a paycheck. Like she ended up having a pivotal role. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was kind of like, I wasn't.
Yeah, it was really, she dies beautifully, but it was a bummer. I was bummed about that. But it's like, so we have Daniel Wu as St. Joe, Brett Cullen as Walter Sylvan, the land baron, and then Cliff Curtis as Cyrus Booth. And I just was like, that's too many villains. Well, and then even Brett Cullen wasn't really the villain. It was the son, like we talked about, the one named Sebastian, Moheen Arya. And I just was like, first of all, that's like, why is one of these villains a red herring? And then why, it's like there was definitely too much going on there. And I will always welcome Cliff Curtis popping up in my media. Love him.
What we recently saw him in something.
Oh, he's in all kinds of shit. He's in Sunshine. He's the one who gets obsessed with the sun. But
I feel like
he was in Dr. Sleep as well. Whale Rider is Jesus Christ. He's going to be in every single Avatar like thing. Fear the Walking Dead, The Meg. He was in The Meg. I think he dies early in that. Spoiler alert. 10,000 BC. We should probably just cover that at this point.
The memory stuff was interesting. Like I said, I'm trying to not like, because you flat out said you liked it. And again, I think it's fine. I'm trying to not introduce conflict into this.
Well, so that's the other thing, is the memory thing was really cool for me because it was just like that TV show that I liked called Stitchers. That's how they did it in that too.
Apparently it was like not a special effect.
What do you mean?
Apparently it was like practical, like in camera.
Oh.
It like,
That's pretty cool.
it was like this device with like vermicelli. Like it was
because he's pulling them down at the end.
it was like it was like rice noodles that he was like going through, and they sounded like chains, but I guess that was real.
Oh, interesting.
And they were projecting in it. Like I was like, oh, that's sort of, because that based on the technology we have, that's how we would do holograms. Because there's like holograms in some of the like newer Disney rides that I'm like, how the fuck did they do it? It turns out there's like micro scrim hanging that you just don't see in the dark ride. And that's what it's projecting on, is this scrim that's indifferent. And so I guess, I think, I don't remember who I saw of it, because I didn't watch a lot of videos because I didn't want to like absorb too many different opinions. But I was watching something where they were like, yeah, that was in camera.
That's amazing. I think that's really cool. That's what I'm saying is like, I think the story could have been stronger? 100%. But I think that.
I wish I saw it when I was like 17.
I mean, even like maybe 25, I would have probably been fine. But I just think visually, it made up for the lack of story. It was so cool to just like be in this world, especially with the like weird multicolored drugs and shit. Baka, yeah. I was like, heroin or what?
I think it was meant to be like new.
Yeah, but it was cool. There was all different colors. He asked for vermilion baka, and I was like, all right, let's do it.
It was fine. It was fine. If you've got nothing better to do, if you like these people, if you like
that's the other
visuals,
thing too, the people.
If you like techno noir, Thandiwe Newton doing a serviceable Gal Friday, they don't clobber you over the head with it, because you get the sense that she kind of carries the torch for him.
Oh,
but
she like 100% says it to him towards the end. Yeah. But I do like that. I loved that her name was Watts, and then he fucking called her Emily at the end, and I was like, what? I was like, no. But I liked that her name was Watts, because in my favorite John Hughes movie, Some Kind of Wonderful, that is Mary Stuart Masterson's name as well, as Watts, and that's good. So I think if you're just in this for the visuals, you're gonna get a kick out of it too.
Or like I said, you just want to watch like a serviceable techno noir.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, I'm gonna do 2 up. You can do 1 and a 1. Yeah. 2 at an angle.
That needs to be our new pictures.
All right. Well, you can follow us on Twitter at So I'm Watching, or Instagram at So I'm Watching the Show. If you are so inclined, you can also throw some money at us on our Patreon, patreon.com/So I'm Watching the Show. And other than that, just definitely hit that subscribe button. We're doing kind of gangbusters right now, but we would
plowing to the 1,000. We need 1,000.
We would love to get 1,000.
1,500 by Christmas.
Maybe
even 2,000.
Let's do it. We can do it. So yeah, like and subscribe, and that's it.
Me pushing the gear.
Boy, Will's really fisting our way to Christmas.
I didn't like that.